After witnessing the awesome destruction and action of the MechaGodzilla and Godzilla vs. Kong, we couldn't help but think about how awesome a crossover it would be if the Mecha Titan from the Godzilla films somehow ended up in the world of Transformers. Wouldn't it be simply epic and out of this world? Of course it would be. A marvel unlike any other, MechaGodzilla seems to slot right into the world of cybertronic beings, and maybe the mecha is actually originally from Cybertron. Well, not really, but it definitely does look the part. So suppose MechaGodzilla existed in the world of Transformers. How would things be? Would he be an Autobot? Or would it be a Decepticon? How will MechaGodzilla compare to the rest of the Transformers? These are just the type of questions that usually come to mind, and guess what? We're going to answer it all for you today. So let's just get right into it. Autobot or Decepticon? Well, that's probably the first question that'll come to anyone's mind, and luckily we have the answer for that. Like we all know, the destructive MechaGodzilla is not one who can be considered a friend of humanity. The MechaGodzilla, for that matter, isn't someone that the Titans or even the most evil of villains would trust. In Godzilla vs. Kong, the mecha was indirectly responsible for killing Ren Serizawa. But what's more interesting is that the colossal robot Titan was actually directly responsible for killing Walter Simmons. Yes, the Apex Chief Walter Simmons, who was instrumental in creating the mecha, was actually killed by his own creation. Simmons may have been the human villain, but MechaGodzilla is an even bigger villain. Now, if we go by that pattern, MechaGodzilla clearly doesn't fall into the Autobots territory, and it's way far from it. Which means that the mechanized Titan, who loves causing chaos, death, and destruction, has gotta be a Decepticon any day. So, seems like the Decepticons have got another ally in MechaGodzilla. Size difference. If MechaGodzilla ever did exist in the Transformers continuity, it would simply be a class apart from the rest. No major Autobot or Decepticon even comes close to the size of the mecha for that matter. Even Dinobots like Scorn, which is actually the largest of the Dinobots, would pale in comparison to the Mecha Titan. MechaGodzilla simply dwarfs almost every Transformer. Even the 108-foot-tall Devastator would be completely dwarfed by the mecha. I mean, we're talking about a Titan who, according to our estimates, stands at a massive height of 450 to 460 feet, easily towering over the largest of the Transformers. Also, it's only the Driller and the mythical Unicron that stands taller than the MechaGodzilla for that matter. But we all know that the Driller is more like a subterranean creature of Cybertron, and Unicron is a being that screams God complex, so comparing the mecha to them wouldn't really be right. To be honest, MechaGodzilla towers over all the Autobots and Decepticons. For a clear perspective, Optimus Prime in his biggest form only stands at a height of 40 feet tall, which isn't really small by any means, but when compared to the massive over 400-foot MechaGodzilla, none of them could even hold a candle against the mecha, not even the Primes. And since we're talking about the Primes already, there arises another question. Can it defeat the Primes? Oh, yes. MechaGodzilla can sure as hell defeat the Primes, especially when it's in full cry. It would easily defeat a bunch of them. Practically speaking, none of the Primes, Autobots, or even the Decepticons can do so much as even stand against the mechanized bringer of death and destruction. The mouth beam we saw in action in Godzilla vs. Kong would pretty much wipe out every Transformer on sight. However, there is one being from the Transformers mythos that has the capabilities of overpowering MechaGodzilla. It's known as the Unicron. So who or what is this chaotic being? Well, Unicron is a fallen god, even from before the universe existed. The bringer of chaos seeks the ultimate peace granted by the destruction of all life. And Unicron is said to accomplish all of this by wiping out everything in the universe and leaving only nothingness and void. So it's only natural that our mecha wouldn't be able to overpower this monstrosity. But as for the Primes, it'll be a piece of cake to deal with them for our potential Decepticon, MechaGodzilla. What would MechaGodzilla transform into? Alright, this has got to be the million-dollar question. So what do you think? What can the MechaGodzilla transform into? Well, if you ask me, whatever the mecha transforms into has got to be as large as the mecha itself. Something that's more than 400 feet long. So there's no vehicle that big, so it's got to either be a train or a massive ship. MechaGodzilla can also transform into a massive spacecraft or a big-ass airplane, but given that the mecha doesn't really fly, we're now left with the ship and train. It could be either of these two, so now it all depends on the mechanized Titan. I'd prefer a high-tech ship though. Sounds more cool and is more convenient than the train. So for us, it's going to be a ship. And with that, it's a wrap for this video. Hope you enjoyed it thoroughly. Thanks for watching. Now, if you want to keep watching more videos like these, well, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, smash the bell icon too while you're at it. You've been watching Factaholic, and we'll see you next time with another amazing video. Peace.